Welcome back for the second segment of the October 7th Trips and Traps. Once again, Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
Just two more races to bring you this week, and so we'll start off with the fourth race from October 3rd. This was on the Breeders' Cup, or the Super Saturday, I guess I should call it. It used to be Breeders' Cup Preview Day. Reading Colliery, the horse we're looking at here. This is a horse from the Kieran McLaughlin barn that had run a couple times for Kieran up at Saratoga, but Reading Colliery here is going to get a pretty interesting run through the stretch here, and really has nowhere to go from the top of the stretch home.
Yeah, I mean, this was one, and Reading Colliery, the winner's already back, is inside the winner. Sangre Frio is back to last, but this is one everybody saw, and we just sort of wanted to talk about it and go over what happened here. And I think it's a situation where you can make a couple of conclusions, and one is you can point out at the top of the stretch where the rider, Rajiv Mirage, makes a decision that ultimately one could argue got him into the trouble he was in. I think he made the right decision, because I'm not sure this horse was happy trying to go inside of horses, and it feels to me like that's what Rajiv was thinking. And you look here, it's not that he's urging that much, but he's certainly not running to go into that spot. You'll see top of the stretch, of course, had he tried to go inside, whether it worked or not, the winner, Sangre Frio, who's on the inside, that horse never would have won.
No, never would have won. Would have had to have. Would have probably been in the same position that Reading Colliery finds himself in here at this point. Seems like Rajiv's thinking that maybe a hole is going to open up here, and tries to go down inside there for a split second, but then decides to come back out, and things get really tight from this point on. There's really nowhere for Reading Colliery to go. It's got Captain Rio, the favorite, right in front of him, and the two other horses to his flank. So really tough spot here, and then you see stumbling, clipping heels there, almost going down. And Reading Colliery doesn't give up. Still wants to run on after this.
No doubt about it. But he didn't have an explode to the hole. But you'll watch this head-on. He never really does have room to get through. I mean, right here, and this is a split second, he's got a little bit of room, and then it closes up. Kenta Storm was riding the horse who finishes second, the favorite, gave him a terrific ride, because he's drifting inside his path, but only drifting half path. He's really race riding, and they're keeping this horse locked in, and through no fault of anybody, the horse clips heels, and Rajiv luckily was able to hold on, and as you said, he never gave up. While this is going on, Sangre Frio comes up the inside to win this race by just a head. It's a blanket finish. It's actually interesting. Trigger's Missile was 43-1. He was on the pace the whole way, and the speeds really held together, except the winner came from dead last. It was sort of a dichotomous race. I'm not sure what to do with Reading Colliery coming out of this race. Of course, I liked it here. It's a decent price. It's got that big trouble line. It happened on a big day. Everybody's going to have seen him. Price he going to be next time? And I'll tell you something. Feels like a horse that better get an outside clear run. Yeah,
I think so too. And you know what? I mean, this was a fairly deep field, but I'm just not sure how good it was. I mean, moving forward, I guess it could be okay. I mean, we talked about Sangre Frio winning the race at 15-1 here. A horse that really hadn't shown all that much. Just maybe had a little bit of trouble start last time at Saratoga, but still, I don't know. These are young horses; they could improve. So maybe I'll back off that statement.
Yeah, I think they're okay. Reading Colliery has had trouble now 2 straight races. One more time, and he goes on a list of horses that always get in trouble. But he's okay, Reading Colliery. I think the field is all right here.
One more race to go, and that's the 5th race from Saturday, October 3rd. We're going to look at the 5-horse here, Formula for Success, a first-time starter from the Chad Brown stable.
And one of the things we've shown in some of the races here, and you'll see Formula of Success just absolutely has no speed, breaks a half a step slowly, and you'll watch Formula for Success drift all the way back to the back of the field, save the horse who you see in last, the 7, who basically is eased in here by Ramon Dominguez. And one of the things we've talked about in a couple races this show, and we talk about a lot, is dynamics of races. How are races run? And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to, which is, did the race set up in a manner that helped or hurt my horse considering his running style? Now, sometimes you see races that are fairly run, where you'll see speeds hang around. You'll see a race like the last one, where a lot of speeds were there, but Sangre Frio did come from dead last, so you can't say it was a totally speed-dominated race unless he's a monster, which he hasn't shown. But this race in particular, they run 1, 2, 3 around the track and pretty much never reverse or change any positions. None of the closers, and they may not be that good, ever get in the race. But Formula for Success, who's last in the field right now, this horse makes a serious run.
Yeah, absolutely. And the top 3 finishers here, 1, 2, 3, all the way around the track. Formula Success, what I like about this horse here is that there's no sudden burst move. There's no eye-catching anything to this horse. Just slowly grinds out and gets within about 4.5 lengths, maybe 5 lengths of the top 3 here, of the winner, I should say. And just all in all, a good solid effort. And you're going to see Formula for Success have to tip widest coming off the stretch, off the turn here into the stretch, trying to get a good running lane here, and just might have cost a length or two here, having to go outside and wait for the other horses to kind of clear off in front.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like, obviously the rider, Julien Leparoux, is riding this horse, who was a first-time starter also, and he knew where he was. He realized he wasn't going to win this race, but I tell you something, he puts in a nice run, and it's not one of these fourth-place finishes beaten 8 lengths. He's beaten just less than 5 lengths for all the money, which all things considered, and you'll watch him and how much farther, there he is, and he's way ahead of the other horses in the race. This is a horse that made a solid run in a race where the pace just came together and held together. Formula for Success, I think off this race is, I don't know how sneaky he is. He's not a horse going to be a big price, but I think he's going to be better than a maiden winner if he keeps his act together and he continues to run. I think he's a horse that we'll hear more from down the road.
I would agree. I think went off 10-1 in this race. You probably at least half that price next time out, but that's still a pretty good little number there, 5-1.
I'd be very happy if he was 7-2 if he was in the right field, especially if you get to Aqueduct and you get a more fairly run race and the pace doesn't just hold together. We'll see what happens. That, of course, does it for this week's episodes, I should say. Once again, email address is tripsandtraps@NYRAinc.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Keep them coming.
We do, and the next episode will be on Thursday, October 15th, as we are running Columbus Day this Monday, so it'll be Dark Tuesday and Wednesday, so tune back in next Thursday. Thanks for watching.